All right, ladies and gentlemen, traders, welcome back to another live session. Back at it like a good habit. The pastor is ready to rock and roll. Are you guys ready for another beautiful Friday morning, a beautiful trading session? Yesterday I did look back at some of the trading and I was thinking to myself that I wonder if I over traded yesterday, right? Because whilst we did start right on that cheaper stock, I was able to get myself up a few $100. And it's this thing where sometimes, you know, as you expand your horizon as a trader, you sometimes kind of overlook those smaller gains, and especially when the stock seems like it still might have some more opportunities. So that's something I want to be a little bit more careful of today, coming into the open, as it's been a much slower week here for me. Let's see how the momentum is today, and the aim will be the same, right? Can we get something out of the market and then get the heck out of here and enjoy the weekend? So for those of you tuning in on YouTube, and even for those of you in the Discord as well, all the other platforms, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, if you're tuning in, watching on today, remember the risks of trading. All right. There are definitely days where it can seem easy and, we're just hitting those big green trades, but, don't forget that the risk is always present, and that it is important to understand risk management, have experience and competence before really, being in the market, and especially being in the market with size, right? It's better to start off slow, utilizing simulators, paper trading, and or just with smaller shares. That way, as you learn how to trade, you're not losing a lot of money in the process. It just makes sense to do. Your tuition is going to be on the lower side, giving you a lot of longevity to stick around in the markets for months, years, and hopefully figure it out, and then get on the offensive. Right now it's all defense for anybody who's new. Just take it slow, and then go through the process. Right, other than that, remember, copy trading does not work here. I'll be quite honest with you guys. My trade styles is lightning fast. I'm in and out of trades in seconds. I do have some trades that'll last like 30 seconds or a minute. If it's a 5 minute setup, maybe a few minutes. But 95% of my trades are just in and out, like, very quick. There's latency on the YouTube channel. Trying to copy trade doesn't work. There's people out there, they're trading a stock like UPS. They're saying, hey, looking to buy 150, holding the next 2-3 days to sell 166, whatever. That's a whole different story than what we're doing here. So you can't be doing nonsense. All right, that is just as straight as I can put it. Other than that, remember to be careful with fake accounts. I will never message you first. There's a lot of fake accounts. It's so sad that I still, to this day, still see people running ads for the Team House content. We report this stuff. We try to get it taken down. They create new accounts. It's a disaster. Imagine someone running an ad with me, right? I saw Trump recently say he had to ask his team if he was the one doing this ad. Apparently somebody created an AI with him and his voice, and it's the world we're living in today. So this is me just giving that warning to the community to be careful, watch out. Relentless traders never out here messaging people, and we're trading all day long to be doing that, right? Too much work here. Other than that, let's jump into it. So the watch list, let's see what's moving. There's a couple stocks. I feel pretty good despite this slower week. ONCO. I feel pretty good. I was talking to one of my siblings recently, man, and it's like, we just got to continue to be happy, motivated, inspired. I mean, with what the market is capable of doing, we have to understand the cycles. And it's been countless times of hot and cold and slow and fast. We just have to pace ourselves. Longevity, keep those red days small, keep them tight, and just patiently wait for the market to reshuffle. And when it does, we know exactly what to expect. Every time, this is the same song that the market has been singing for the last 5 years I've been here. So, it's all about remaining disciplined and staying the course, staying on track, not deviating, and there's no panic here, right? So it's gonna be another great month coming up, and we're looking forward to the opportunities. CE, CNEY, RGF, potentially RGF, RGF. I gotta start with my screen recording here. So those are the two cheaper stocks on that list. Let's see here. There we go. Guys, for those of you who are staring at the screen all day, which is like most of us, I would recommend these blue light glasses. They help out a lot. It's almost like looking at the phone screen and you have that bit of an orange tint. That definitely helps out on the eyes. We need longevity in our eyes too, because if not, we'll just be blind, right? So let's start up that screen recording and then a quick couple of trend lines, and we'll be good to go. Last announcement. Shout out to Mighty Putty. I believe it was Owen, and as well as Vegito, who all passed verification in the chat room. This is something that we've been doing to verify traders who have made over 25K that are trading in a real account. So shout out to those guys, and they're well above 25K. All three of them actually well above that. All six-figure traders doing extremely well. So let's see here. ONCO. I think this will be my main one. ONCO. Let's get a quick couple of trend lines. Currently up 87%. A cool 87%. 12 million shares of volume. High point is at 666. 666 pre-market high. Now, we have been seeing a bit of a pullback, and we dropped down all the way here to 611. So I wonder if this is going to be, another one of those stocks similar to KTTI, whatever the name was yesterday, that gives the full retracement, not just 50%, but all the way back down the low of day. And I did watch back my trading yesterday, and I still think I could have done a better job into that first minute or two, buying a little lower, right? Also checked out Tim's archive. Tim caught a nice trade down there too. So definitely watching to see how these stocks play out here. OMCO, highs at 666. Daily chart, let's see. My nose is so stuffy. In the depths of the common cold. Let's see. Common cold taking me down to the depth. So ONCO looks like recently we did have a bit of a range here around 148. Was this a reverse split? I think our swim chart for some reason doesn't always show the indicator here, the symbol, the logo for the splits. 2, 3. It looks like it might have just been a gap up a couple days ago. 444. So going back, and I'll enlarge this here. Let's see. Going back to August, all the way to August 2022 is where I'm seeing like prior days that are like in the same range. Can this thing zoom properly? And what was that high point? $8. $8. Was that 628 and $8 as potential levels. And we're at 639 right now, so I'm gonna put down $8, and then the 200 EMA is at 1071. Did I miss a level? I might have missed a level here too. I am seeing a candle on July 18th with a high point of 14, low of 848. I'm gonna map out the high and the low of that candle. So around $8 potential resistance. Alright, looks good. I'm a little slow to get my trend lines going here, but that's alright. This is my main stock. This is the one that I'm really going to keep an eye on into the open. DUO is continuation from yesterday. As you guys know, I only really need yesterday's high to be marked out, which is 143. I'm gonna put this in the yellow so it stands out a little more. Other than that, today's pre-market highs, let's see, 179. Now we've pulled back quite a bit, so we'll see how this does. 200 EMA is still up there at 97. So DUO potentially could be a good stock, and then CNEY is right around $1. So, if we can continue to 125, that'll be pretty good. My share size is set to have smaller size to start. Let's see how we do here. ONCO. Straight to the best of our abilities, as usual. Volume is pretty light. It's interesting how the last couple of weeks, volume has been slow in the first like 10 seconds. Usually it's like instant. Lowest 26, highest 50. Buying the low of day dip. Can we get that exit on the ask? Giving it a sec, giving it a sec. Cutting it scratch. CNEY coming alive, 110. We'll see if that one keeps going. The halt up is at 19 if it's to keep going. We'll see if it gives a quick pullback here. Nope, it's climbing, 15. I'm gonna wait for a pullback if possible. CNEY. And I do apologize for these trades that are off screen, but there's just no time to pull it up. And I have 3 stocks at the top. To come down to the YouTube screen is just, I'm gonna miss trades here, so we'll see if it keeps going. 23 for the halt up, it's at 14. Nine, 10. Show me 11, 12, 13. Oh, there's a bid. My share size is pretty small. Alright. Let me bulk up here real quick. Let me bulk up here, big boy size. If we dip down, I'm taking it on that bid. But it might just go all the way. 19. Alright, I'll try to pull it up here the next chance I get. Dang, that dip was good. I did unwind at I bought at 07. I unwinded a lot at 10. Teleported to 14 after that big buyer came in. 19. I'm gonna try to take a massive position if it dips. Let me pull it up. I'll pull it up. Just try to be quick here. Time to bring out my big boy pants if this dips. The halt up is 28. Well, we might not get a dip at this point. ONCO is, the range seems decent. I'm seeing it inside of my eyes. But still watching CNEY. Perhaps too soon. Waiting. I need to see more buying on the tape. 21. Come on down. The price is right. It's not really dropping as much as I would like, so I'm jumping in a little higher. Let's see if it does curl nicely. Target. Actually, I'll take some right here. Sell half. But target 24 if it does give the 1 minute candle to make the new high. There seems to be sellers. I need more of a screen here. Let's kind of pull this out. Let's pull this over. I might just have to just use 10K positions. I have the current candle is 22. There's 21. That fill was not good. I guess I'm a little late, but it's alright. Waiting. It is still a little extended, but you know, are we gonna see the tight pullback or are we gonna see more of a retracement, right? Kind of just waiting. I do want to take it high or low. It all depends on how it plays out here. Oh, I should have marketed in. Damn it. Every time I try to throw a bid, it's like the selling literally stops exactly where I try to get long. Oh, come on. Not cool, not cool. 1595, which is pretty high. But that's okay. The support is there, but we'll see if it tests the support. I mean, we could see the 5 minute pullback here. So I do want to keep an eye out for that at least. Which is why I did try to hit the bid still. Because I know, like, okay, can I at least get the fill where I want to get the fill? But, you know, let's see what it does here. I'm only in 5K size, so not a big position. I do like that we got to 23. Was it going to be here? This is big. The low of the last candle is 14. We got resistance at 23. What's it going to be? The new 5 minute candle is also a minute away. Oh, man. Come on. Damn that breakout, man. I'm gonna lose half in one trade. Worth the attempt, I would say. My goal was to try and sell quickly, but you know, sometimes these stocks they come down so fast. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see how it does. If it does test this buyer. There's a lot of selling here, so I want to see how this will do. Damn, the fills are slowing down. Just a heads up. They're seeing just a little bit of lag in the fills. Time 41. I needed a bigger position down there. I think that's what I needed, is a bigger position. But if it tests, if the dip can be tight, because we've been holding fairly tight, I think if the dip is tight, I can try again, like as in a big position. But the dip needs to be tight and not like the low of day. If it's a low of day dip, then I'm just gonna lose. This might be good enough, honestly. So we'll see if it does test. Will we test? Is it gonna go? Can we get the dip? I'll take the dip. Can we retest? Now can we go? Come on. You know you want to. Okay, good. There it is. And it is failing, maybe. It looks like it might be failing. Come on. And I was about to get comfortable there too. I already looked away from the level 2, looking back at my order just to see and to adjust my shares. It's already back down at 19, or let's say 20. There's a dip I'm going to look for if it comes down, of course. See, that dip, that trade right there has not worked the entire week on those other stocks that just keep giving back the entire retracement. If I would have bought there yesterday on that other stock, W whatever, I'd have been selling down at like 102, down 1K. So it's a better job of like, okay, this one has been tight, I'll try to trade. And And that stock yesterday, man, like, you know, those overextended dips did work, but only the overextended dips. No, we were trading DUO anyway, so come on, Titanic. Titanic down to 110. I wouldn't be surprised if 14 holds, but I don't think I'll take it. There's a lot of bids here, though. There's some big time buyers, right? 60,000, 50,000, 170,000, 13. So is it gonna hold here, or will we do come down? I think it should come down, but and the bid is holding. No. Okay. And okay, there's the trade. And I'm done. That's it. Shutting it down. Out of here. Pastor will not waste another second. Finally, a stock that would move normally, man. Took the entire week since Tuesday. The trades are linear. Everything makes sense for what the pullback was. The chart was saying. I don't need to see anything else here. I'm done. That's it. Shutting it down. Taking the green. And I'm gonna go enjoy this weekend. Crispy and I are going to the gun range, I think. We should have a good time. Pastor is going to be trying out a shotgun for the first time. What did Tim say? Something about a snub nose 12 gauge? Should be interesting. Guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up. It's going to be an early live stream. Check out the links down below. I can just double check to see if there's any quick questions, and then we're out like south. In fact, I'm just going to X out my charts while I'm at it, because if I keep looking at the screens, the Pastor is going to be enticed to take a couple trades. I'm going to be enticed, so shutting it down. Hit that thumbs up. Is there any announcements? We don't have any major announcements, but yeah, you guys can check out the links, and I think maybe that's it. Marcelo will be guys. For those of you in the chat room in the YouTube stream, we're gonna be doing another live class today, another live overview in the chat. So if you guys want to join, feel free. That link is down below as well. We're doing a lot of interactive review sessions. Marcelo doing a lot of reviews. Crispy also from time to time jumps in. I'm gonna reach out to Save and Calamity, see if maybe, you know, I did talk with Vegito. Vegito is open to it. He said after the close, perhaps, you know, every now and again, maybe, you know, if it's a good day, you know, maybe he shows us a little bit of what he's doing, right? But once again, shout out to him, Mighty Putty, and Owen for passing verification. And those guys are all up 6 figures, and it's great to have them in the chat room. Although I did tell Mighty Putty to take it easy with the GIFs. I don't know if we'll bring him back. Probably not, but you know, we'll see. Stay safe, stay green. The Pastor signing out. It does feel like it just feels so early. Maybe maybe I get Marcelo to come live on the channel. I don't know. It feels so. I'll just hang out in the Discord. I'll catch you guys. If I stay here, I'm gonna try. I'll catch you guys later. It's hard to shut it down this early, but if I stay, I'm gonna get enticed. I'll probably log back in. Why is the lighting changing so much? I'll probably log back in. So tell Mighty to stream. I'll text him. Let's see what he says. He can take over the live stream. Poema. It feels so weird to just be done this early, but this is what we did at the beginning of the month. Or maybe Tim. Maybe Tim can take over the stream too. Triad. Triad, let me know, brother, if you're listening. Or even Big Steve too. Big Steve can hold it down. Big Steve, I know you can hear me. Is he in here? Oh no, oh yeah, he is. Big Steve. Whoever answers first will get it. I'm gonna send a message to Tim. Oh, Big Steve sent a message. Oh, Big Steve has declined. Big Steve has declined the offer. Big Steve, you know, all you have to do is just voice, right? What I'll do is just would just either turn on your mic kind of thing and just voice. All right, I'll give those guys 2 minutes or three, and then that's it. They're probably dialed in, still trading. The stock is back at 114. I did X off my charts, but this is what the screen up top does look like, in case anybody is new. There's usually 3 charts up here to go with each level 2 at the top. So I'm always looking up at this monitor. I did post my setup. I can show that on screen too. Let's see. There's a setup section in the chat, and we had some nice setups. I'm gonna end the stream here in the Discord. I'm gonna stop the recording as well. Trading stations. So we got a couple of trading stations, right? And I do have a lot of DMs I gotta respond to, so do keep tight. Is it on the right screen? Yeah, there's a couple of cool trading stations that people posted recently. Zay, man, looking pretty clean. I like the light strip. Nice L-shaped desk. That looks like it might have been one of the older one I had. The new one now is standing. The trades looking pretty good. Computer looks nice down there. The brain. Esco locking in. Mounted on the wall. Everybody's setups look so professional. For those of you on YouTube, if you guys want to join the chat and post your setup, feel free. Sky, Momo Bro, and then I think mine is right here as well. So this is the screen that I'm looking at right now, right up here in the top left, top middle, top left. Everybody's setup looking very nice. We got to get Crispy to post one. And then, of course, you have the memes. The live stream has went from trading to ranting. A poem or a song? I did a rap before, you know. I did a rap. I'm such a madman that I actually did a rap and posted it. It was pretty bad. Let's watch it what Marcelo is looking at here. CNEY and ONCO. 2K day for the big mighty. Not bad at all. Not bad. Not bad at all for the mighty. Or is it off today? Early day, brother. Triad said he's also done already on the day. I'm gonna start taking trades in my E-Trade account. This account is fully funded. I could take trades here, which I did on the day where we had the back when the non-marginable stocks was like we thought was a problem. Although I do feel very like when people use the word like handicap in this type of situation, like it just doesn't feel the same. Like I'm not used to the layout as much, and I do have to pull up order entry. I'm using buttons rather than hotkeys. Is it left click twice? Let's see. Tools, order entry. Then you have to combine the links. And so I literally type in the symbol here, CNEY, and then one share, share size, market order. I do like that E-Trade allows you to have these type of orders, like trailing stop percentage wise, dollar wise. Not bad, but straight up market. But then I'm hitting this buy and sell button here. Buy, long, sell, and then it shows up down here at the bottom right. So I'd have to look at the level 2 at the top. It's not bad, but it's like still kind of going in somewhat blind. It's like I'll trade the entire day and then look at the P&L after, and it's like you have no idea if you had high fills or anything. And there was something else that we had to do here too. Twin, what's up? Good morning. How you doing? Brad, what's going on? SEEL. Yeah, we can do a class here. Yeah, we can do a. I guess it'll be like a small recap. I'm not quite over 1K, but I guess it can be like a recap, and then we'll shut it down. You got time to focus on health. Crispy trades. All right, I'm gonna jump into Gen 1 in the chat. I gotta put on my headphones. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna jump in Gen 1. Let's see. Share your screen. Actually, wrong screen. Hold up. I gotta do this one down here. I'm gonna show you guys my level 2 for those of you on YouTube. Check, check. It's pretty early, but we should be good. Can you guys hear me? Everything good?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, I'm just gonna do a quick overview of a couple of the trades that I took. You guys can feel free to ask any questions as we go. We can also look over some trades from yesterday too on DUO. There are some dip trades that could be cool to go over. Some obvious mistakes that's worth pointing out that I made. So as usual, every day always starts off with the Momo scans, right? Making sure that the stocks that are in play are hitting our criteria. And we did have a good couple of stocks today. CNEY, ONCO, and so forth coming down. So the scans were decent. We had our watch list stocks. We were on time. These are all important things. And we did map out our trend lines for the key areas. So coming into the open, ONCO, initially I have on watch. And for me, I'm always thinking
Hello?
about the range.
Sorry.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm always thinking about the range coming into the open. There's, of course, the pre-market range and then the intraday range as we get our first candle. So right here, I'm looking and we have a low of 620 and a high of 650. So, right off the bat for me, that's kind of the high and the low and where I could look to potentially attack dips. Some people on the YouTube stream, because, they don't understand the full length of the strategy. If you're just seeing the chart, it can seem like the buy and sells are just at random. But, there's always like some indicator behind what we're looking for.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh?
I think someone's mic might be on there. Here, I'll mute his mic for him.
Is beaming here?
No, that was Dan.
What a day, huh? Terrible.
Yeah, so as this thing dipped back down to those lows, but again, this is where I've been getting caught recently, right? It's like buying this dip and this dip then going down to like 590. Tuesday, Wednesday. But right here, I'm hitting the ask at 36, trying to get the higher fill coming out for at least 10 cents, or I guess a little more than 10 cents. But we never really came back up, so I'm going to end up like marketing out. So it does bounce nicely. We're going to fast forward a little bit. You can see it dip back into that same area again. But at this point, I already switched over to CNEY, which is why I'm not long at a retest of like 20. But as we know, this has not been working super well, and it's been flushing down to like 590. So, I'm only using 700 shares. If it does, I buy back again lower, looking for the bounce back over the whole dollar. But what's gotten me is being in like 2K here, and then this being at 590, 40 cents 2K. Okay, I'm down 1K to start the day. Not great. Or 600, whatever it might be, depending on what fill I get. But switching over to CNEY. So this stock is at $1. At this price range, honestly, if I had to mark it in 15,000, I'd be comfortable. So for me to use 4,000, it feels like smaller size. I can use smaller size than this at times, but I'm feeling decent. This is a good indicator that this week, despite it being slow, it hasn't bothered me. Have I hesitated on particular days in certain areas? Yeah, maybe, but on the overall, it's like I'm still feeling pretty good, and it's like, all right, as long as we can see linear momentum, I know what to expect. So we have a low of 1. It's up here at 113. It pulls back. I'm seeing some bidders at 10. It doesn't quite hold 10 as the selling comes in. So I try to take the sub 10 dip, and now the retest of 10. Can we get back over the level? And I'm gonna scale out small size 1,000 shares. We're already up 3 cents in the trade. 4,000 shares. Every penny is gonna be $40, and so even just a 3 cent gain on a stock like this is still worthy of something. And honestly, for those people watching on YouTube right now, like this is why our strategy is so powerful, is because we don't need to be in for 5, 10, 15 minutes, 5, 10, 15 days, 5, 10, or 15 weeks. In fact, we think it's easier to predict where the stock might be in the next 5, 10 seconds, right? Even the next 5, 10 years. So it's all different in perspective. There is a level as to how much we can scale this in terms of size because the trades are so fast. But when the stocks are moving linear, we can do well. Not to say that we won't have a red day or red trades as we saw this week, but once the market reshuffles, man. So you'll notice that there was a massive bid that came in here. So this dip started around 07, 08, and I'm holding shares through, just kind of scaling out of 10, 9 area, and then this is where we kind of sometimes get that unexpected move. It seems like it's struggling here and just kind of churning, and I'm still holding something just in case. But then there's like a 200,000 share bid that pops up at 13 that just rips the stock higher. And usually when there's a big bid, there's a lot of buying. And so I bought back at 15 with now a stop at 13 as my support to see what this thing could potentially do. Now, what is the risk here? There's a lot of times where this order is fake. And there's people like myself who will buy it like a madman, and then it comes right. There's risk. There's definitely risk, right? This has happened to me before where the order is a fake order, if you want to say they cancel or if it's manipulation. And then I bought aggressively at 15 and I'm stopping out at 12, 11. But I accept that risk in this situation, and I'm looking to see how far this can go. But if it's not pushing up instantly, I want to keep the stop tight and potentially look to re-average. And so, it does get to 17, which is a little bit more of a boost up. I do take it off there. And honestly, here, it's like, if the order is real and the buyers are strong, I could look to potentially get back in at like 15 or 16 and then keep watching for this thing to go higher, right? Or maybe even a little lower than that, depending on how it plays out. So this ended up being a strong move, making $200 to start. You can see here I'm using like 8K size for base position, which I'm pretty comfortable doing on a stock like this where there's no lag getting in, and the spreads are tight. We can fast forward here for some of the more key trades. I think we priced in a high at 23, and all of this. So the trade I took at 15, or 14, wherever I added, I sold 16, 17, right? So looking back at this, hindsight, of course, it's like maybe I could have held that for another minute to try to get a little more out of it. But it's always a little tricky when we see churn, because it's not guaranteed that we go higher before we go lower, right? Like we could have came back down to this big bid before going back up, in which case that's essentially what I was looking for to then re-average. So there's a lot of days where, you guys might see me sell, and I like to call it like a 50-50 area. where there's a fork in the road up ahead. Do I want to take profits or do I want to hold the trade? Do I want to hold the trade and also add? Like there's these decisions that we have to make as we're actively managing the trade. And I'm a little bit more conservative usually, so I'll sometimes sell a little early. And then we're gonna see that coming up where I get back in lower and sold before high of day. I'm usually gonna sell early because most times we don't make a new high right away, and I like to just take the couple cents. So fast forward, it's gonna give its first baby pullback here. Let's see, yeah, it gives the first baby pullback, and I jump in here at 17, and it's a decent bounce. We get back to 21. And I'm surprised that I didn't already take half off. I should have took something off here. Okay, there we go. I did take a little bit because we're at 21. We're kind of stalling a little bit, and we're right below the resistance, which was 23. There's no guarantee we get to 23 and over 23. So I'd like to pay myself a little something at least. So that was the first baby pullback. We're going to fast forward some more. I think I did take a loss somewhere. So it's gonna come down again, and this is another fork in the road decision. Do I want to buy the limit order or do I want to buy market? Now, because the spreads on this stock is so tight. Looking back at it, I don't know why I tried to squeeze 1 extra cent. It doesn't make sense. You have to be realistic and you have to like really be thinking about these things. If this stock is gonna go from 15 or 14 back to 23, who cares about 1 cent? Like sometimes I kind of get caught up being too like trying to squeeze too much, and right here it's gonna backfire because as I'm gonna place this limit order, it's not gonna get filled. Right here I'm gonna play. I should have just marketed in. It's honestly pretty bad. So instead of being in at 15 and the immediate bounce here, my order is just sitting in the space. And in my head, I knew it like, dang, I kind of like, and now here we're seeing 15 by 17, 16 by 17. The stock bounces up like this, you kind of know, like, man, I kind of screwed that up. I screwed up that trade right there. If this is a 20 cent, so this is the difference, in the small difference in the trading. Like, if this is a 20-cent spread, yeah, don't even take the chance of getting the high fill. But in this situation, you just got to go for it. It makes every bit of sense, risk to reward wise. So that kind of happened, and I think in this situation, so because it came back down so quickly, I was contemplating on if we might want it to retest the buyer. So I am going to look to re-average here if there's a lot of just selling. I mean, we can see red on the tape at times here. If there's this an extreme amount of red, I'm just gonna sell and perhaps get in below this bid, or maybe right at it. Because right now that's kind of like the obvious support. It also aligns a little bit with the first two candles of the day. I didn't put a trend line here, but share size is fairly decent for this type of move. It does curl up. We get a good trade. We unwind. And then I believe this is where I'm going to take the 50% haircut. Because I thought we held up the dip so well that it's going to be likely that the stock might give the move for the retest of the high. Right, so even right here, this is like a high of day like attempt. This is it's coming down a little bit, but it's like a breakout trade. Hold up, we gotta go back. So right here, as the 1 minute candle is about to make the new high, I thought we were gonna rip through, and I'm gonna get caught big size at the highs. So it's gonna go through. So 23 is resistance. There's 24 on the ask. I'm gonna buy right here, 25, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, here we go, 28, 30. And the moment I get in, I probably shouldn't have took this trade with that much size. 19, man, this is brutal. And this is the risk. Even buying low, it's the same risk because sometimes we're gonna go lower than we expect. I mean, I could have bought 8,000 shares at 14 and then it drops down to 12 or 10 and you're selling where you should be buying. It's why it's always so close. Also, the other side of this, instead of dropping 7 cents, 6 cents, it could have squeezed up 7 cents and then this could have been a good trade, right? So I'm not getting frustrated, but it's like, ah, damn it, maybe I should have went in with smaller size. Now, this is where I should have been buying, is this dip. And, the process behind getting in here a little higher is that the move just now was a pretty big drop. From 25 to 17, 8 cents. This is a lot for this stock to drop. There should be a relief bounce of some sort here. If not, it probably comes down to 14 again area. So I'm gonna put out the limit order I canceled. I'm gonna put out another one, but as I mentioned, this could potentially be the stock to just mark it in because the spreads are so tight. And again, I'm kind of there, and I didn't get that fill when I should have been in for a couple cents. So you can see that I kind of missed out on some gains. And now the selling pressure is gonna really be on. So if we fast forward a little more, there's gonna end up being a lot of selling pressure here. Let's see. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of selling pressure on top of these big bids. And it's going to be a sign that, yeah, this thing might want to break down the previous support. So I'm going to try right here. And then once it comes back down, it's like, okay, I'm going to be done with it and wait for the lower pullback if possible. That's usually how I'll trade all the time. But, there's days where it doesn't work, right? Like this week, it's not always 100%, so it's part of the deal. But if we weren't profitable, in large majority, 7 out of every 10 times, for Marcelo, Tim, Triad, 8, 9 out of 10 times, those guys, it's like we wouldn't be trading the strategy, right? Because a lot of the times we have a 50% to 60% accuracy. And usually when we drop below like 46%, the strategy is not as profitable if we're really not aiming for that bigger, risk to reward ratio, let's say 2 to 1, 3 to 1. Sometimes some of the trades are 1 to 1 sometimes, right? And so we got to be careful. So the lower our accuracy, the worse it is. So we do want to aim for those higher risk to reward ratios, buying in obvious areas where there's support, and then waiting for the stock to try and curl up a little bit. Buying areas where the breakout is most likely to go, and keeping a tight stop. So when we do have the 2 to 1 with a 50% accuracy, for every one winner, we'd have to lose twice to get back at 0. Right? All this is why the strategy is profitable. So to put that into like percentages or cents, for every 10 cents I make, right, because I'm risking 2 to 1, it's like, hey, I'm looking to make 10 cents and I'm looking to risk 5. If I make 10 cents one time, I have to lose 5 cents over 2 trades twice to be back at 0. And then the third losing trade would put me into the red. And honestly, the days where we really lose big, like usually the paper cut days, we usually stop early. But the days where we lose big is when the stock's just titanic in areas where it should be strong, or at least give a bounce or hold to some sort of degree. And that's kind of like, something that we have to deal with from time to time, because no strategy is bulletproof. So coming back here, we did ended up holding the lows, and we caught the move going up. But what I didn't like about this area is that we ended up having a sudden pullback. So, I'm going to try for the breakout again here. And this is where, I mentioned, I called out on the live stream, this stock has not been doing a full retracement to support every time. So if we test high of day and it gives a small dip, I want to try it. This is risky though, because this could come down right to 14 and then it's like a little choppy, right? But again, this is the stock telling me the story, I'm going to listen to it. So I'm gonna wait here, and what I'm gonna do is it gets over the highs. I'm gonna sell 5,000 shares. So right there. Could I have waited for this to go to 34? The answer is yes. But as I mentioned, I'm more of a conservative trader. So instead of me looking for the full profits here for 30, 34 halt up, I'm comfortable taking 5,000 off and then maybe unwinding the other 3,500 shares. But the moment I sell, it's like, I didn't expect this to happen. Like, it's already back down here. And this tells me that maybe this is just a failing stock. If it's going to be strong, it has to hold right here and no lower and bounce right back immediately. If not, this is a disaster waiting to happen. And so I want to be careful. And I asked myself, what's the resistance? Well, 23. Why did we go up above the resistance so strong to then come back below the resistance? The stock is bluffing and faking me out. So was there too many short sellers maybe, or lack of buying as we were going up? I'm not sure. The volume did look pretty good here. The move did go pretty strong from 20 to 24 to 27. So it's like, okay, maybe the dip is going to work. And then if it breaks below our support, the next dip down could potentially be good as well. And then that was like the last trade that I took. So if we fast forward a little bit, I didn't take this initial dip because it ended up holding high, a couple cents above our previous support. But then this dip here, once it got through this big buyer, I want this dip. There's another big buyer, and this is risky. And this is where this trade right here is where I sometimes have the biggest loser, sadly, because sometimes this just teleports through every bid. I mean, people just selling and goes all the way down. That's, in those days, the short sellers, they don't even cover, I guess, into this first relief dip. Because if you're short at 23, you'd think you'd maybe take profits right here because we broke down below support. Maybe you can take something off the trade from 23 to 10. You're up 13 cents. What more than that do you need on a scalp trade going down? So I'm thinking maybe there should be some buying here. But some days this just teleports into the halt down. So if it was closer, let's say like 08, I wouldn't take this trade because it's just too close. And I still, it's like my biggest loss of $5,000 is from this type of setup. So when it's too close, I don't take it. But if we can bounce up from this area, I'd look to take a little something off, right? Which is what we did there. And that bounce went right back into the previous support, which at this point is going to be resistance. And this looks like it's going to just be Titanic. This is what I consider backside. Some people will still take the dips here as this like trends lower or trends back up. It's still early in the day. If you zoom out on the macro, like if we pull up the chart on this stock and we zoom out, CNEY. If we look at the 5-minute chart, like, and we really zoom out, like, it's still early. Anything can still happen. So it's not really backside. It's just some more so short term. So right here, it's like just, okay, short term weakness. But can we come back at 12 p.m. and this be right back at highs? Of course, right? So it's why some people do love to sit around the entire day. And I think it can be very rewarding because sometimes this trends back up, consolidates below high of day right here, and then rips to the moon, right? We come back, hey, this thing went to $2. We all were sleeping doing something else, right? Outside running errands, working on a different project or different job, whatever. But there's also the chance that, you could stick around and then it just, trends down. But a lot of traders who are using this style here in the chat room, some of the students and the guys who go longer, like I know Kitty, for example, sometimes like Tim and will trade all day. I'll be around. I don't usually trade all day, but if I'm here and something is moving, But these type of setups here, like these big bottoming wicks where there's an obvious where there's a blatant flush, obvious flush. There could be something here, and then even when the 1-minute candles do make the new high, because this is still a bear flag, right? This is still a bear flag, and it's kind of like ascending resistance here. So when there is a wedge like this, and then the stock breaks over a level here, if they're not already holding from these trades, they're probably buying this breakout and giving it a chance. So there's a baby pullback. Can we retest the high here? If we can get over VWAP, maybe there's something to hold for a few minutes. So there's still trades, even when people are gone, there's still trades that are just happening all day, every day. All day, every day. But yeah, I also want to look over some of yesterday's stuff with the chat room here. But you guys can always feel free to ask any questions. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up yesterday's. Archive. So we got a couple people in here hanging out. Yesterday, the disaster of DUO and going red early. So I did say KTTA. I thought I could have done well on. Interestingly, early, it kept a very tight range. Well, fairly tight. Because we did end up getting, and I bought, let's see, let's go back to the start. I can show you guys I can show you guys a little bit of Tim's archive here too. To show you how Tim tread the needle to be up 1K in the first 3 candles. Now, again, what's our high, what's our low? This thing right into the open just goes, so, you know, can I look for a breakout over 15 or 22? But the way how we kind of open up, like this is market open, we're at 20. For me to just jump in right here, 22 for a breakout, it's like a difficult trade to take. I mean, I could hit buy, right? But it's like there's risk here if this just decides to just flush down to 7. So I don't go for it. And what really gets me is how high this goes. I think it went to 50, 39, 40, 45. And so I tried to take the dip here, low 20s, right here in this spread. And, you know, I thought this might have been enough. We can see that the red has stopped printing. There's a little bit more market orders coming in, white on the tape. But this was not enough. This is my first trade where I got caught. And I remember I said yesterday at the open, overextended dips. This is a normal dip. Overextended here, we had a low of 705. Look at where the stock is going to dip. 705. If I waited for this trade here, and so this I mean literally 705. If I'm like a little bit more patient for this dip, so where I bought, where I'm buying, I should have been, you know, where I'm selling, I was buying, which was good. This is not how I want to start a day. And so like from 50 to 20, like man, it's like man, that's pretty good size dip. But overextended dip, which is literally a low of day dip. And this is what happened between Tuesday to Thursday. You know, if you're quick to adjust to this stuff, like you can make a lot of money every day. But what happens is that sometimes for weeks on end, there's a certain trend, and you get so familiar with it, and then the next day shows up, the trend is not working. But what I've noticed is that if we can adjust, it's okay to have that first red day, I think. But by day number 2, and you know, this is still a problem for me. It's like by day number 2, there's no excuses, man. Like by day number 2, you have to be ready. Like there's no way I should be taking this trade. And I got the higher fill too, 27 on the spreads, which is fine. But by day number 2, which this was already Thursday, which is day number, was that Tuesday? By Wednesday, I should have already been ready for this price action. This is Thursday. Why am I still making this mistake here? You know? So after this trade on the live stream, I said, man, what am I doing? I gotta like wait for the overextended dips. Can't get caught. So this literally comes back down to the low of day. And then 30 seconds later, 26. In fact, it might have even gotten higher than that. Let's just look. There's 25. I mean, almost instantly, right? So I ended up selling break even, but it's like I should have been in for that dip. And then taking half right here, maybe holding another half. It's a small. Let me show you guys. I'm gonna sign into my student account, right? Let me show you guys what Tim did instead to take that beautiful trade, right? MMU. Let me log in. Let me show you the fine line. Like some people don't really believe it when we say it, but there's a very, very fine line. All right. So hold on, I'm getting logged in here. So I'm gonna jump into the classes, right? I'm gonna jump into Diamond. I'm gonna scroll down to well, actually not Diamond. Tim's. I gotta go to Tim's archive. And shout out to Tim, by the way. You know, look at these beautiful. Despite having a slower start to the month, you know, Tim. I mean, just if we were to look at some of these archives from Tim, if you guys want to just check out Tim's archive, you can. I mean, if you want to see live raw footage, this is why we're changing so many lives. You know, I did a verification with 3 people yesterday, all 6-figure traders. Some of which were watching me for a year and a half. Some people watching since 2020. You're watching someone who's made already $1 million. How they made 8,000 in a day. The raw footage, and we are gonna put up the prices on the classes because it's just regardless of if somebody joins and become profitable or not, the information is too valuable. Where else do you get to go watch Warren Buffett sit down and make his trades? Like this is insane stuff. Nobody has access to see Warren Buffett take all his trades to make 9,000 in a day. Where you know, and all and the transparency. All right, Tim is a great trader. How did he lose 2,400 to then get back to 450? So you can learn from his mistakes in a day. The prices honestly needs to be 10x on everything here because the value of what we provide. It's just as simple as that. It has nothing to do with greed, nothing to do with hunger. The value of what we offer. Where else can you see somebody make a $10,000 day every single trade? Back the All right, I'm going too crazy, but now let's get back on topic. That's just a quick side note because what we're doing is like that. You know, it's just as simple. It's very like that, right? So KTTA. Let me show you guys the first minute of what Tim did here in this particular setup. So he's watching the same stock, and this is the benefit of not only being a student but a teacher is that we can come back and go over the other traders trading to see, because we know there's a fine line. What mistake did I make? What mistake did he make? How did he avoid the loss? So forth and so forth. How did he capture the trade? Does he have commentary? Okay, no commentary on this one. So he waits patiently for the overextended dip right here that we just spoke about, where we know that we've been seeing in the last 2 or 3 days, and watching him fire off the trade right away right here. It's gonna come down, boom, right, perfect, perfect entry. And you know, Tim, Marcelo, Triad. Sometimes they're a little bit more aggressive depending on the trading and stuff. This the day, you know, all that depending on how they're doing. You can see where I'm looking to just start the day with 700 shares. Tim is looking to start the day with 2,500 shares. All right. So can we see that balance of which we just saw, ripping back up to ripping back to mid 20s, and boom, this is the trade. This is the strategy. Like, you know, are we going to be married to this stock for 10,000 years? The answer is no. The trade came, and the follow through also came. Now it's time to take our gains. You know, boom. There. If you want to trade one time, if you want to trade one time a day, if your daily goal is $400, well, there it is. You know, and you can say, hey, great day, I'm out of here. That's not how it works for us. You know, we'll kind of see the stock through and through, but this is the strategy, ladies and gentlemen. You know, hyper scalping. We're in and out within seconds. We're watching these key areas. You know, we're looking at the market trends over weeks, months, years. over the day-to-day basis. We're utilizing our level 2 for as an additional indicator along with our chart. We have our criteria to take the trades. There is no stock that we're going to ever be looking at if that stock doesn't have a certain amount of volume, if it doesn't have a lower float, right? If we come to Momo Pro, right? This right here, the no filter. I mean, it has a, it's showing a bunch of everything in the market that's just, up top to bottom. And then I have my personalized filter here to have things a little bit more tight. And this particular filter does not scan for below $1. And so I come here, CNEY, okay, every day pre-market, CNEY, I come, okay, 88% move, like all the work is done for me. People wake up in the past 10 years ago, 4 a.m. trying to read the news headline to see which stock is a hot stock. Oh, this pharmaceutical stock had this. I think with this particular type of news, we can see this type of move. We don't have to look for any of that. Like what we're doing here, it's not easy, but it's somewhat simplified in the macro of what we're doing, right? Okay, I wake up, I log in at 9 a.m. The stock is up 86%. There's a certain amount of volume that we're looking for. And in this particular case, this one at this point has 152 million shares relative to the float rotation, right? So the shares available for the public to trade is 2.6 million shares. This is supply and demand, right? So if there's 152 million shares being passed through the stock and the rotation is only 2.63 million, then it's going to create an imbalance, whether to the buy or sell side, right? So, relative volume to what's normal for the stock. I mean, it's up 400x%. So these are all the criteria that we're looking for, right? In the classes, this we go step by step as to why each category is important for us. So each day when you guys see me post that list of 3, 4, 5 stocks, they're all hitting the criteria here. And from here, I can then get into more of the technicals. What is our range? What is our trend lines looking like? I pay attention to the level 2. And from there, we do utilize a lot of tape reading in these things. So, you guys can check it out. If you do want to join the classes, for those of you tuning in on the YouTube side of things, MMU, man, is the way to go. And none of this would be possible if our strategy was not consistent. You do see Marcelo, Tim, and Triad also getting it done. So you guys can feel free to check it out. And this is where we're going to come to an end because, I did, this doing this show here is like reminding me of like MTV Cribs. It's like I brought you guys into my sanctuary. I showed you a little bit of my live archives. I showed you a little bit of my chat room. And pretty soon it'll be time for you guys to get out of here. There's one more thing that I'll show you, right? And I did log out of my platform, and I don't like to log in on. I could go to white screen. I can go to white screen and log back in. Momo Pro, we could reload. I can go to white screen and potentially log back in, but in terms of transparency, I can pull up my trader view here as well. I do have, a lot of the times I have half of my screen covered like this, because there's like another monitor here. I did show you guys my setup earlier, but it's simply just to show the scanner, right? My left hand side of the screen on Ameritrade just has a 3-minute chart, and I don't utilize that screen real estate as much. So, but yeah, check out the classes. There's a flash sale there. I'll pull up my trader view. And looking back at simple videos like that, how Tim approached that first minute versus how I did, it's why I'm always so happy. You guys will see me smiling even on the red days. You'll look in the live stream, you probably say to yourself, why the hell is this guy smiling? Why? Because I know that there's room to improve. Why would I come here and be upset when I know that tomorrow is going to be another day? There's going to be another room for, more time for me to improve. It's how I know I'm not the best trader that I could be. Because something like that, knowing the trend has been overextended flushes, is like a silly mistake, right? And despite making mistakes every day, the pastor is able to generate 200 grand. We're seeing it from some of our students here, and those guys who we brought on the team house trip, man. A lot of students, Lucas, Shout out to Beeman, who's killing it as well. And the broader chat room and the YouTube stream, a lot of people are tuning in. No matter how bad the red days may look, and you might show up here and say, man, this guy, what is he doing? Guessing, buying left, right, up, down like a cheat code. Just know that even on the worst looking days, there's a system. The system may not be working well on those days, but you cannot argue with the results. And if we go to win-loss versus days, there's 128 winning days to 57 losing days. And as mentioned, Marcelo, Tim, Triad, these guys even have more winning days and less losing days. So the strategy is there. Can we continue to be more refined? Can we continue to improve on ourselves? Half of the battle is the technical and the emotional side. Can we become more disciplined? Can you see yourself in the next 4 years, the next 3 years, the next 2 months? Can you see yourself becoming a better individual? If you're a beginner trader today and you can see yourself improving, then you have a chance in this field. It's as simple as that. If you became better at sports, school, education, your career, your profession, if you're somebody who's capable of making change, and it's why we say screen record your trades. If I don't screen record this, and I can't go back and see what I did wrong. I can't go back and see what Tim did. I can't, what I'm saying? These small things, if you're not doing it and you're watching me for years, there's nothing we can do, right? So you have to take every single thing and implement it. Screen record, whether you're using Excel, because Excel, a lot of you guys are great with Excel. You don't even need TraderView if you know how to use Excel. There's other websites out there, right, that tracks metrics. And in fact, I got a text last night from one of our chat room members. There's a few software engineers in our chat room, and multiple people we spoke, and it's like, maybe we develop something here within the community that's cheaper than some of these expensive platforms, right? Because we know a lot of beginner traders, you guys can't afford $40 a month, $30 a month. Some of the more expensive scanners out there, like $200-$300 a month. Some chat rooms, $2,000 a year, $200 a month. So the goal over time, because we too are in the situation before where we couldn't afford these things. So we'll see what we can't do right here in the community, right, to help out everyone. But just know that right now is the best time. The best time to grow a tree is today. If you didn't started watering your plant and your tree 5 years ago, 10 years ago, well, today's the day to start and to be consistent with it, because at the end of the day, these are life-changing gains. And whilst trading does take a lot of time to get good, when you do get to the other side of consistency and you're able to put some size behind your trades, the amount of time that it takes to make money becomes very short. One of the guys that I did verification with yesterday, Vegito, as we're talking and going through the verifications, taking trades on NVIDIA, 3K positions, right? Big time trades. I'm like, hey, what's your biggest position today? Well over 10,000 shares. Not to put all his stuff out there, but like well over 10,000 shares. And casually up 20,000 on a day, right? And he does post in the chat room publicly, so I can say that. But there are some other traders too who are private. They don't post. We talk in the background, but we keep it private. But this is what it's all about, man. Improving, getting better, studying up. Nobody's too good to study and review, and ultimately get one step closer to financial freedom, because we can then put these gains to work elsewhere. In money market accounts. For those people who do have high yield savings accounts, some of the guys here, Marcelo, Tim already, and I spoke to Beam, some of the guys already getting into the longer term stuff, right? You guys know I had a portfolio that I was building back in October. Now I did take gains. It was a bit of a swing, but for myself, also looking to get into the long term stuff. Now that we're able to generate gains, have something sitting, now is the time to be proactive, because by the time I'm 60 years old, more than likely, even if the SPY is to crash a couple more times, we look at the SPY. I just wish I had money back when it was pandemic time. If I had more cash, it'd have been, I'd already been sitting nicely, right? Let's go to the daily chart. These are all things that can help us get to our financial freedom. Reinvesting in ourselves, in our education, reinvesting into the stock market as a whole, doing things outside of the markets when it comes to, hard assets. Some people are starting franchises, some people are starting businesses, brick and mortars, right? Online businesses. So, day trading is definitely a vehicle that can help us get to where we need to be when it comes to financial freedom and being able to live life on our own terms. It's not easy. It never was. It never will be. In this position, you are essentially your own boss, and so you do have to hold yourself accountable. And if you can always manage yourself from that third person's point of view and make adjustments, then you can improve over time. And that's what it all comes down to, man. So I told myself, hey RT, man, all right, you were putting a lot of effort into the team house stuff, Instagram, this, that. All right, now it's time to get back on the YouTube grind. So, my camera just came today. And now it's time to get dialed in, man. Looking to get to work and back in the grind. So hit that thumbs up and Relentless Trader. For those of you in the chat room, if there's any questions here before we head out, you guys can feel free and we'll shut it down. It's been a good talk, good live stream, good motivation. Let me get everything pulled up here. What's it? Enzo, man. I will be taking a look at that message. I did see it when I woke up. So shout out to you, and we'll see how things go, brother. All right. Do we have any questions here? Zay, Vegito, Simplistic, Ron. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Gio, I see you. Well, how you doing? A lot of preaching here today. A lot of preaching. Cactus Rob, be sure to say hi to your mom. Hi to mom and dad. Maybe they're watching on. But if there's no questions, we'll shut it down. Jay, Colin, and Tony, Al, and shout out to Al, who's also been a long time supporter of the channel and Discord. Stock down. You know what? I am going to be opening a free portion of the Discord for a few days. But if you want to join for next week, and I guess even today, you can join right now. It'll allow you to join. You can shoot me a message, and I'll give you like a trial of about, let's say, 3 or 4 days, so you can see what it's all about, and then we'll go from there. Gio, are you here?
Yo, yo, yeah, I'm here.
How did you do today, man?
Um, not so good, unfortunately. I mean, it's not like terrible, so that's good, but I'm not green, so but it's small, so it is what it is.
Keeping it tight is the way to go, brother.
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny. I heard you mentioning um getting caught on the overextended dips. That's kind of what got me, because I was green in certain moments in the day, but then when the stock would turn and I'm trying to catch that dip, and then I'm doing it not the best job, but not the worst
Yeah.
job either, recycling. But it just eventually it keeps going lower and lower and lower, and I'm trying too many times, and it's catching me a little bit too many times, and enough where it turned my green into not green basically.
Yeah.
An- Another thing I did too is like once it kept going lower and lower, and I felt like this could be it, I would start to oversize in those areas. And if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't have lost as much. But because I oversized in certain dips that didn't work, you know, it's enough to turn me red because when I was going green, I wasn't using that same size. So, that could be me maybe being too trigger happy. So, whatever. I mean, obviously, if it would have turned the other way, then it would have been a bigger green trade, but it just kept going lower. So it's not that the trade was so bad necessarily. I just think I kept trying to oversize in these areas that it was just turning already. So
Yeah, sometimes that happens, right? You kind of use like smaller size on those bigger moves, and then you kind of get caught in the backside with like a bigger position.
exactly, that's basically what happened to me. But
Okay. Enzo, are you in the building, brother?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I see that you had a green day, man. How was the trading today?
Oh, that was yesterday. Today we're not doing so good. We're giving back a day, but still looking into CNEY and see what move it makes. Maybe we can salvage this day a little bit.
Okay, okay, not bad. I also saw your message, man. I'll take a look. We'll talk. We'll talk some more.
Yeah, man. Let me know. We'll chat.
TDR.
All right, definitely. The big man, Vegito, man. Vegito, are you in the building?
Yo,
How's the day going for you?
uh, so. Just up a few grand so far. Nothing else really moving too much today. Hate that the small caps all died off again. Sucks.
When I get older, I gotta be like you, man. What being up a couple grand is just like, like a so-so kind of a day. I like that.
I didn't mean it like that, but yeah, I mean compared to like what I was doing yesterday, just not really as great. How about you though?
Well, I guess I can, I guess I can relate, right? Uh, I'm green, which is good. I mean, it's been a slower week for me, so I'll take the green. But it's not like a marvelous day or anything. But the trading was a smooth experience. We came in quick and clean.
I was just taking that NVDA dip, but seems a little backside, so I had to cut it for a quick loss just now. CNEY, you see that knife right there? Wow. That would have been a nice sub $1 dip if you got that.
I just turned my red day into a flat day. Let's go.
That was a nice support level that it quickly killed. I think a lot of people had their stop losses right there, so it was a temporary oversold zone under one.
You know, it was
That's a
so
really
funny.
nice
Just
bounce.
talking kind of like a little bit of smack about me oversizing on dips, and this time it finally worked. So, I mean, I'm not gonna push my luck and try that again. It finally worked. I got flat. I feel like if I keep trying to do that, I'm just gonna go back into the red. So I'm gonna just. I think I needed to just call it here, and I call it a victory at this point.
Yeah, the dip strategy is pretty good overall, but it can be risky if the dips are never ending. So that's why making sure that the chart supports support levels, resistance levels, and all that stuff is good before you kind of like get into it.
For sure. Did you trade Nvidia today?
Yeah, traded since the open. I didn't even touch any of the other ones, ONCO, TNXP, CNEY. I was gonna, if I wasn't trading Nvidia, I would have taken a short off TNXP as it was rejecting that 20 cent level area.
You go short also on Nvidia?
Yeah. Shorting's a lot riskier though, because Nvidia actually has a bias towards the long side. So even if it goes down, it quickly bounces back up. So shorts are quickly underwater, even if they initially take like a 5 cent, 10 cent win. It just recovers the entire red candle like the next minute, and it makes them
breakdowns, or do you just short like an extension or like on the way up type of thing?
I usually look for like a rejection candle before taking a short position. If it makes like a new high, like a breakout, and I take a short, those are the deadly ones because those will just keep on going higher. So if you wanted to short Nvidia, it's a lot riskier.
I hear that. That's interesting. I had a contract for an option contract on Nvidia that I've been holding for a while, and I sold it like 2 days ago on the last couple day pumps.
That's a good sell. Like
Yeah.
right now we're kind of in an area where I'm not even sure what I want to do. Today,
Yeah,
red day. Yesterday, red day. So it
yeah.
kind of looked like.
For those of you on YouTube, I'm going to shut it down here. Be sure to take a look at those links down below. I can post a link for the chat room. I'm going to hang out in here for a little bit and then officially close it out for the weekend. So I'll catch you guys later. Check out the links and the past door. We'll see you soon. Monday again. Hopefully we get a bit of a smoother week. Definitely going to study up throughout the weekend, especially on Sunday. And maybe I do a live stream to just like go over some more trades and stuff. But yeah, with this new camera, I'm gonna look forward to getting the content grind going. I'm gonna sit down, plan, and come up with a good, let's say, skeleton outline, and then kind of fill it in as to what type of videos and stuff like that. Definitely gonna be a lot of things around trading. Gonna bring back some older style videos, and the pastor will be looking to go to the moon. As you guys can see, I am who I am. I'm pretty straightforward here. No BS, just the real deal, man. It's not always pretty, but it don't need to be, right? One day at a time, one trade at a time. We'll just keep pushing forward. Stay safe, stay green.